Hello traders, this is Dave with the SPY Super System Compass Options Trading Room and Text Alert Service. And tonight, this is a weekend here. This is on 8th, 9th of December. And I'm going to cover a recap of the November 2024 trading in the room on the alerts, as well as the SPY Super System trades that we take inside the room. Those are very high-speed trades we take off the SPY, the Qs, and the IWM based on 5-minute charts. So I just want to go over the results we've had. I'll go over a little bit of the criteria that we use in the room for finding high probability trades, and just kind of share that with everybody. All right, so let's get started. First thing I have to do, of course, is the disclaimer. All signals and trading opportunities we provide here are for educational and demonstration purposes only. Trading is very risky, so you should never trade with more money than you can afford to lose, and neither myself or Right Line Trading are licensed financial advisors, so we won't be giving financial advice. Okay, I just kind of wanted to show that if you haven't seen this before, this is a graphic of the alert service that we use. I have a trading room that I'm in all day long, market open to market close, and then we send out high probability trade service, trade alerts to our alert service, both when we enter, and then you get another alert, at least one for the exit. So it just gives you the trades that you can get them on your phone, so you don't have to be in the room, or you can get them anywhere. All right, and one thing I want to cover real quickly here, and I cover this in all my webinars, but this is really important to understand what drives the market, what actually drives the stock market, any individual stocks, indexes, etc. These are representations, these little marbles represent retail traders such as myself and most likely everybody else watching this. We cannot move the market. Retail traders cannot move the market. All we can do is cause chop and chaos when we're in the market. This is the institutions, this big marble. This is Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley. It also includes hedge funds, hundreds and hundreds of hedge funds with billions of dollars to invest. Pension funds, big pension funds for firemen, police, state workers. And then you have your mutual funds, T. Rowe Price, Vanguard, big mutual funds, billions of dollars. And our job as a retail trader to be consistently profitable is to be able to identify when the institutions are pushing a trade up or down and when they're not. We want to be following the institutions, and when we do that, we're then going to take money from the retail traders. We're not going to take any money from the institutions. We're going to take them from the retail traders who don't have the same information that we do. And with the software we have, the Compass System SPY Super System software, we can identify when institutions are in the trades. So we'll take those trades and we'll bypass the ones that the institutions are not in. And this is what gives us such a huge edge over other retail traders. They don't have that information. We do. And we're going to war with these other retail traders to take money from them, and they're trying to take money from us. And we've got better information, better software. We've got a better methodology, so we consistently take money from them. All right, a couple of rules to trade by in the room and on the alert service. First thing is we trade the best and skip the rest. We're looking for just the very highest probability trade setups, and we're trying to skip the ones that may look good but are not high probability. One of the reasons they wouldn't be is if they look good but the institutions aren't driving them. That's one thing we look for. Our second rule is our objective is not to make trades. Our objective is to make money. This is meant to keep traders from over trading. A lot of traders, when they're sitting in front of their machine, they feel like, I'm a trader, I need to be in a trade. So they'll get bored and they'll stop taking trades. And they're not taking high probability trades. So it's really important to be patient. Patience is critical. Maintaining discipline is a very, very critical, and remaining patient. These two things here is what makes retail traders, if they've got the proper software and the proper information, this is what makes them profitable over other retail traders. Most retail traders have a hard time maintaining discipline, and they have a very hard time remaining patient. Typically, overtrading is one of the biggest problems that retail traders face, and they give away all the money that they've made on a good trade because they were impatient. Okay, so as a profitable trader, we need an edge over other retail traders. We have the Right Line Compass System, which is also now called the SPY Super System. This is a piece of software that identifies when institutions are in the trades and when they're not. And I'll show you trades where we use this and how we use this information. We also trade relative strength and relative weakness, not to be confused with RSI. This is if the SPY is moving sideways or up, and you've got a stock that's just stacking red candles to the downside, it has relative weakness. If the market is going sideways or down, and you've got a stock stacking green candles, it has relative strength. So if all things being equal, you'd want to be trading with the relative strength or relative weakness stocks, since they're not going to react too adversely to the market, any market changes. If you're in a long, the market starts to back off, the stock will probably not back off as much as the market does because it had relative strength going into it. Then we also want to trade with the market trend if there is a market trend. And the last thing is we want to buy near support and sell near resistance. We don't want to be chasing trades up or chasing trades down. If they get away from us, we want to wait for them to come back to a support level, bounce off that support level, confirm that they're back into their original trend, and follow those. Okay, so those are our 4 edges here. The compass system, or the SPY super system, it identifies the highest probability trade setups while sidestepping setups that don't look as good. We're going to look at a bunch of these charts. This compass does this by identifying when the institutions are driving the move and when they're not. This is very critical. I've talked about it about 3 times already. The compass or SPY super system software analyzes complex trading data and displays the results in an easily identifiable visual format. So even relatively new traders can identify bullish and bearish trades that the institutions are pushing. And this is a big edge to a retail trader. Okay, and again, what gives us this edge? We're only taking trades that are being driven by institutions, as I've said. We trade stocks that have relative strength or relative weakness to the SPY or the Qs, and we trade in the direction of the overall market. So how does it give us an edge? Well, our trades are going to be supported by institutional buying and selling. We're basically following the institutions into these trades. They're supporting the trade. We're just riding it with them. The stock's going to be outperforming the index, the SPYs or the Qs, and they'll be moving in the direction of the overall market. If you follow these particular criteria, you're going to be heads and shoulders above 95% of the other retail traders that are out there trying to trade. Okay, and just kind of run through this we'll talk about the criteria I use for setups on our longer-term intraday trades and our swing trades. These are not for the 5-minute chart trades that we do, but if every trade that I take, I look at the daily chart first. I have to be trading with the daily chart. So if I'm going long, the daily chart has to be bullish, and then I look at the 5-minute chart to find a good entry for it. If I'm going short, the daily chart has to be bearish. I'm not going to trade against the daily chart on any of the intraday longer-term trades or swing trades, because if it goes against you, you don't have the ability to stay in the trade. If you're trading long a stock that's bearish, you just can't stay in it. It's likely to keep going down. We trade with the stock trend and the market trend if there is one. The compass indicators, the SPY super system indicators, must be aligned. They must confirm that the institutions are either buying or selling if we're going long or short. If they're neutral, we're not gonna take the trade. If we want to go short, but the institutions are pushing it right now to the upside, or it's green, we're not going to take it. So the compass indicators have to align. Then we look for relative strength and relative weakness, as I've said, and then we want to enter near support and near resistance. And again, if all these criteria are met, stock kind of drops out the bottom of this virtual funnel. This is just basically a thought process I go through, giving us trades that are potential setups. We don't take them all, of course, but those give us potential setups. All right, and again, this is just the verbiage on that same thing we just went over. Stocks to be traded should have a daily and 5-minute chart aligned, and the compass or SPY super system indicators must align in the direction of the trade. All right, a note here on the 5-minute chart, you should only be trading stocks long that are above the VWAP, the volume weighted average price. This is an important indicator. If you don't have this, you should put it on your chart. All the institutions use this VWAP. So you want to go long if the stock is above the VWAP, but you do not want to go long if it's below the VWAP, and vice versa for shorts. All right, and again, have patience. I really emphasize this all the time in the room. Again, the room is open every trading day. I get in there about between 9 and 9:15. I'm there till 4 o'clock, a little after, talking about trades, talking to all the traders in the room. They're suggesting stocks to look at. I show the charts. We talk about the technical setups on them. We talk about the institutions if they're in them or not. All right, so in the room, just so you know, these are basically the strategies we use: straight calls and puts, debit spreads using weekly options expiration. We do what's called a time spread or a calendar spread. These are on earnings trades. These are non-directional. We don't care which way the stock moves. What we're doing is we're capturing volatility crush by selling calls on this week and buying calls next week at the same strike price. And I have another strategy called the weekly ATM strategy. This basically sells puts on a bullish stock week after week, collect premium while holding on to a longer term dated put to protect ourselves to the downside. And we do credit spreads to capture premium. And we also do what's called the SPY super system. This is just done in the room. I'm going to talk about the results on this. This is on the SPYs, the Qs, and the IWM off of a 5-minute chart, and I'll show you exactly how we do that. This thing has been extremely, extremely effective since we started doing this in July. And I'll show you exactly how it sets up. And the alert service, by the way, it's designed for day trades and short-term swing trades. It's not an investment service. It's for day trading and short-term swing trades. And short-term swing trades are any from overnight to 3 weeks. That's typically about the longest we're in any trade. Obviously designed for traders who can't watch the market all day. We put out real-time alerts on the highest probability trade setups we find. And the highest probability trade setups are done by identifying institutional involvement. We keep coming back to this. We also check market internals. The market internals are neutral or bullish and we want to go long, then that's fine. As long as the institutions are in the trade, we'll take the trade as long as the market internals aren't against us. Okay, this is just an equity curve of what the Compass Alert Service has done over the last, from March till June. I need to upgrade it, but typically this is based on $2,000 into each trade. It's up about 90,000, so it's been very, very effective so far, and this has been consistent for the last 3 years. Just to kind of recap here, just so you can see what the service has done. Investing $2,000 in each trade taken in the Compass Options trading room in 2023 produced a little over 60,000 in profit. So if you had a $50,000 account, you'd be using 4% of your account on the when you first started at the beginning of the year, and by the end of the year, of course, the balance had gone up to 110,000. So 2,000 into each trade was less than 2% of your account balance. And I use 2,000 as that's an arbitrary number, but I need to have something that I can use to create the equity curves, etc. So I just use $2,000 into each trade. So that's what I use for all the trades that we take. I don't necessarily take that each trade, but that gives me a baseline. Okay, this is the SPY super system or the Compass system. This is basically a chart. I just identified what the indicators are on here. This is a long-term trend line. This is multi-time frame momentum. This is critical. This is the current time frame momentum. This is critical. These two are extremely critical. These are the two that I generally use for my trades. And this is a derivative money flow. Obviously, if they're all green, it's even better, but I need these two to be aligned. Blue or green for long, red or yellow for short. These two need to be aligned for any swing trade that I take. And we'll talk about the SPY super system. SPY super system, which is just very quick intraday trades during the day off the 5-minute candlesticks. It only uses this current time frame momentum. This is the one we use, and I'll show you some charts for that. This is Tesla, the trade that we took in Tesla, but you can see the compression here, and the Compass system or the SPY super system puts what's called a pop signal here, a pop out of the box. This lets us know the compression is breaking here to the upside, and you can see that the stock, we took it right here. It broke to the upside. This little green line is a 15 EMA of an EMA. It's a smooth EMA, and the stock moved right up and followed it up. And this is where we get out. We started getting wicks and tails. We took profits right here in it. But this is the Compass system or the SPY super system. This is what tells us if institutions are in the trade or they're not. This is a recap of the SPY super system since July. This is when I actually introduced it to the room. I've been using it myself quite a long time before that, but we hadn't been doing any really quick trades in the room. So now we do these now, and I call them out of the room. Now I cannot alert on these; they're much too quick. But in July we did it was 16-0 for the last half of the month, 25.96 profit. August we had 56 6 wins, 2 scratches. A lot of trades in August on the SPY Super System, not so many in the room. At 2,000 invested in each trade, produced 8,200. In September, 40 wins, 3 losses, 2 scratches. 2,000 invested produced 71.32. October, 33 and 4. And 2,000 invested in each trade produced 48.31. And it's important to understand before I get into the November results, with the SPY Super System, trading off of the 5-minute chart, you're only going to be in one trade at a time on the SPY Super System trades. That you're just trading that one trade and you're just following that. So then you get in and then you get out and you're done with it because they're very short duration. And one of the reasons that we introduced this to the room was because our other trades that we take, the longer term swing type trades, we don't take a lot of those. We're looking for very high probability trade setups. So to keep people from over trading and just taking any kind of trade, I introduced the SPY Super System trade. This gives traders the ability to trade this kind of a setup, the SPY Super System setup, with very great success while they're waiting for the other additional trades to either mature or we find some other trades to take. All right, so this is really important. So I have a lot of folks in the room who can't be there all day. They'll come in for an hour or two in the morning, an hour or two in the afternoon, and if we don't have a new trade, but they can still trade the SPY Super System, and they've been doing that very successfully. Okay, this was our November results in the SPY Super System. 45 wins, 2 losses, 2,000 invested at each trade, produced 7,179, which is pretty nice on November. These are the SPY Super System trades. The trading off the SPY Qs and IWM on 5-minute candles. These are our regular trades. These are our longer term day trades and short term swing trades. This is what we did in October. We did 17 wins, 3 losses, 85% win rate, 74.48. And on the alert service, we did 14 wins, 3 losses, 82% win rate. The alert service produced 6.063. We typically, the alert service is not going to have as many trades as we take in the room because sometimes if it's a trade is being taken late in the day, 10 minutes to 4 or something, I can't really alert on that. It's not fair to the alert members. And if I think the trade's only going to last, half an hour or something, then I won't alert to it because it doesn't give the alert service enough time to adjust for it. So, but this is what we did in October. In October in the SPY Super System, as I just said, we produced 4,831 in profits, 33 and 4. The 33 wins had a profit of 62.29. The 4 losses had a loss of 13.98. Thus, they had the 48.31. Just so you have an idea of what the wins and losses look like. In November, these are the trades in the room. Again, these are not included in the room totals. These are separate. In the room here in November, we had 16 wins and 2 losses in the room, and that was an 89% win rate, $7,018 profit in November. The alert service, 16 wins, 1 loss. We actually had 1 less trade here in the alert service, which was a loser. So the alert service had a 94% win rate and made 88.63. It was actually made more than the November trade room did in the extra trade room. But this is the room results. So if you were looking at the October results, here you'd be looking at 74.48 in the room, and you would be looking at 48.31 in the SPY Super System. So if you were taking all their trades, that added up to about 12,000. All right, so there's November room, and here's the November SPY Super Systems. Again, 45 wins for 74.79, 2 losses for 300. So again, 45 and 2, 95% win rate, produced 71.79. And these trades have really been killing it here for the last 4 or 5 months. And I'll show you why they work so well. All right, this is a SPY Super System setup right here. Now, this is one from 9th of August, but I use this one because I've got the indexes that we use labeled here, so you can see what we want. Because this looks pretty busy, right? This looks like it's a pretty busy chart, but we're only using the current time frame for momentum for the SPY Super System. So red and yellow is bearish, blue and green is bullish. All right, this is the only indicator of these 4 that we're watching for the SPY Super System. Then we're also watching this pink line here. This is the VWAP, the volume weighted average price, and this little green line is the 15 EMA. So these are our 2 support and resistance levels. So when we want to enter a trade, as we did right here, notice the institutions went from selling the SPY to buying the SPY. See, it went from yellow to blue. That's a signal that the institutions were buying. So then we look at the price and we notice that it's popping through the VWAP right here with a pop out of the box signal. It's telling us breaking compression. This is the perfect entry for a SPY super system trade right here. And you don't know how long it's going to last. It could last 1 candle, it could last 10 candles. But this is the perfect entry. And why this is so important is if it breaks down on the next candle and breaks down and closes below the VWAP, you're out. You're out. So your loss is very minimal because you're coming in so close to support and so close to resistance. That's critical to this particular strategy. It keeps your losses really small. But in this particular case, we had a nice win here. Again, it was moving along kind of sideways, but it was staying above the VWAP. Then we switched to the 15 as our support level. Once it starts to break out and starts moving up and moving up and moving up, get a little nervous here, but still everything, you notice everything down here is green, still bullish. And then we get a doji and then we get out right here. This is where we get out. We were in the trade for $220 per profit per contract, depending on how many contracts you took. Obviously, I think in this case I took 10, so it's $2,200 profit. But this is a pretty nice SPY super system trade. They're not all going to be this big because you don't necessarily get these kind of long runs. But you're looking to get in as the market is bullish for the long and bearish for the short. So, but those are the only thing you need to worry about. This is what you use, the current time frame momentum right here that I've got labeled. That's the only thing, the only indicator you use, plus the VWAP in the 15 EMA. And you want to obviously take into consideration what the market's doing. If it's a choppy market and it's chopping back and forth with crossing up and down above the VWAP, you don't really want to take these until you have, like, you feel like you have some sort of a trend. So you just kind of watch it. But the trends are going to give you a much better run because you're more likely to have some follow through. All right, so that's the setup on it. I'm going to show you a couple more here. This was a trade we took on the SPY right here. See, it's bouncing off the 15. There's a green line, the 15. It popped out here with a pop out of the box signal. It kind of compressed, took it right here, and it moved up. When we stayed above the 15, we stayed above the 15. Got a little nervous here to pull back to the 15, but then we got a nice pop here, so we get out right here. Not a huge trade, but $130 a contract is pretty nice. And notice it was, when we took it, everything was green. I probably could have got into it earlier, but I didn't catch it. But again, this is the current time frame momentum. Notice that the institutions are buying the heck out of this. Everything else is green as well, by the way. This was the one on 11/15, only a $90 profit per trade, but still that's pretty nice. Again, we get in right here as we get a pop out of the box signal. This went from yellow, you notice, selling, to blue, buying, institutions buying, institutions selling, institutions buying, and the pop out of the box telling us that it's come down to the 15 and is supporting on the 15, which you see how it pulled back and then bounced. So we get in here and then it pulled back against us a little bit, but we didn't break below the 15 and we stay in the trade. We stay in the trade because the stock price is staying above the 15, which you see is rising, and we just stay in it until we get out right here. Start to get this candle start to get small. We exit right here, $90 profit per contract, and this was on the IWM, which doesn't move as much as like the SPY or the other Qs do. But again, this was our exit. You notice went yellow over here, from green to yellow, went from buying to selling, but we're already out of the trade when that happened. All right, so this is what to look for. Again, I just threw these up so you could see what they look like, how we're getting these kind of results on the SPY super system. This was a breakdown here. See the compression. Notice that the current time frame momentum is red. It's selling already. We're just waiting for a break. And there's the break right there. As it breaks below the VWAP, we take it right there. We follow it down. It starts to go move back up again here with green. We're out of the trade. We're out of the trade. You notice it went back to blue, went back to buying from selling right there. And we get out of that trade. And you wouldn't want to take it as a long here because you've got the VWAP right here. Resistance is right next to it. All right, so that was a nice trade. This was a really nice trade. This was a pretty big profitable one, $280 per contract. Again, you're going to have a few minor losses in the neighborhood of $20 or $30 a contract. You're going to have a lot of wins that are in the neighborhood of $50, $60, $80, $90, $100 a contract. This was a breakdown here as it broke below the VWAP. See the blue pop out of the box signal. We take it here. We stay in it. We get the 15. We're watching the 15. If it closes above the 15, we're going to have to get out. But notice it went above it, but pull back, went above it and pull back, and then it flushes right here. flushes down. We watch this white line. This is a pivot point that the compass system or the SPY super system puts on the chart, and it breaks down right here, and then it flushed on us very nicely. This is why this was such a nice trade. We were able to stay in it and caught that flush, and then we're out right here. Notice it's red the whole way, selling, institution selling the whole way across here. All right, and this was another one, and just so you can see the setup, red, right, selling, blue buying, stock's moving sideways, it breaks above the VWAP and the 15 EMA right here on a pop out of the box signal. We take it here and we ride it, but it isn't moving up too quickly, but we did make $150 a contract on it, and it was a pretty good run. It was a pretty good run, and notice it stays green the whole way here. All right, and here's another one here just so you can see what we traded. Here's another pop. I know on this one here, you notice it went selling to buying right here, but I don't take it until I get this break above the VWAP. I don't take it when it's below the VWAP. I wait for it to break, and then once it breaks and confirms above the VWAP, as I go to blue here, I take this and I ride it up. And I wasn't in this very long. I was in this for maybe 4 candles. It stayed green the whole way across here, but then it switched to yellow. But I got out here as soon as I got a red candle. All right, and so anyway, this is what the setups. I won't have to go through all of these, but you can see what the setup is like here. Here's another pop out of the box on the 15 right here. This is where you would take this trade anywhere in here. If it right here was a good entry, notice it's green. Right here's a good entry, and then you watch it. Now it went to yellow, so you have to be aware of the fact that it might be failing, but it didn't. It stayed above the 15, and then you ride it up. And you're not going to, this is not a big trade. This is probably a $70 or $80 a contract trade profit. This was a SPY. This was one I took in both directions, just so you see you can actually counter trend trade with this on the 5-minute chart. I took the SPY short here when it broke below the VWAP. Everything was red. They're selling, selling, selling. So I buy it here. I write it down for just 3 candles, and as soon as I get this this hammer right here, this hammer bar on this green candle, I took profit. So it was just 3. It was just 3 candles. Now I look at it, and now see it switches from selling to buying. You see the blue here goes from red to blue. I buy it here as it breaks above the 15 in the VWAP with a pop out of the box signal. I could have taken it here, but I didn't because it was still red. It went to blue. I take it right here, and I ride this thing up, and I actually get out of it right here, because this VWAP this pivot point was coming up, and I didn't like the red candle, so I took profits right there. But I could have stayed in and got a little bit more out of it, but I didn't, and made a nice profit on this thing. All right, so that's what the SPY super system. That's what we do. Many times there's 3, 4, 5, 6 trades a day off of that. Some days only 1 or 2, and if you get a really choppy day, you might not have any, but usually there's a couple at least. I look for them all day long, and I point them out when I see them. Got a lot of traders now with the software themselves that are trading the SPY super system and doing really, really well with it. All right, so that's the and then broke out right here of that compression, and everything was green across the board. This is where we took it. 31% profit in 2 days. In here, out here. Okay, that was for a swing type trade. This was Twillo. This was really quick. This was a call debit spread right here. I took this on this break. This was still yellow, so it was a little bit early on this, but I like this breakout. I like the technical analysis on it, so I took it off this breakout, and we get out, and we made 58% in 2 days on a debit spread. CRM, another nice one. Again, this was also quick because the multi-time frame momentum was still yellow here, but the current time frame was green, and I took it on this break, and I had to be careful. I have to watch this on the swing type trades to see if it goes to green, which it did. All right, this Lulu, this was a short. This was earnings on Lulu. I didn't take it off of earnings. I watched it compress, and this is where I took it right here. Notice how it breaks down below the 15 EMA. It's quite a ways down, but it's coming down here below this white line and breaking below it. And notice this went from blue buying to yellow selling on the multi time frame, and the current time frame was already institutions were already selling it. I took it here and I did it overnight and get in here, and then I get out the next day in for $192 a contract, out for $300 a contract. All right, and again, look, we do have losing trades. I want to emphasize that we do have some losing trades. Usually, you can see how our win rate is about 85 to 90% normally. This was a nice trade right here, a workday. We're in this thing for 5 days. It broke out again. It was switching back and forth between yellow and blue here on the current multi-time frame. Current time frame was staying bullish the whole way. I took it because it broke out of this shaded area, which is called the dynamic compression zone that the SPY Super System software creates. All right, so this McDonald's, another one for 37% gain overnight. Amazon, this is a 5-minute chart here. We made 32% in 5 minutes on this. And again, you can see that it's coming along the 15. I didn't get in till here. I should have got in right here. I didn't because it was yellow, but I got in here and we were in it for 45 minutes and I got 32% in it. You notice all the green here on the current time frame momentum and this multi-time frame momentum. All right, and Amazon, this was a nice one in ENPH. Again, compression, you see it compress. See they're selling the heck out of this thing. I'm waiting for a break. I get a nice break right here as the candle went up, touched the 15, pull back. I jump in here and I ride this thing down for an hour and make 20% on it. All right, and we did 50% Verizon. So those are some of the trades we've had. Now I want to quickly switch to the live charts for a minute on the compass and show you some of the ones that we took here. This in November. One of the ones we took was HUT, HUT. Okay, here's the daily chart, HUT. This we took on 11/27, right? So 11/27 is right here, right on this candle. You see the big long compression? And this is chopping back and forth between yellow and blue. But on the 27th, it went blue. The multi-time frame momentum was already showing me institutions in there buying. So we took this, and we were in it for just a short time on this trade. We took it here on HUT. We rode it all the way up through, and this is where we get out. And it was really, we made some really good money on that, surprisingly enough, because HUT moved up. You can see it was up to $31.95, and when we get into this thing, it was around $25. So these are pretty big candles as far as dollars concerned. So that was a pretty nice one. We also took Fortinet, FTNT. We did this one on the 26th. So you look at the 26th right here. This is 25th. Here's the candle on the 26th. See, we went to buying here on the 25th. We went from red to blue. Institutions buying right here on the current time frame momentum. The multi-time frame was already green. So we take it here on a day trade, on a swing trade, Fortinet, and we take it and rode it up for a few days on Fortinet. This got us some really nice profits on FTNT. And one other one I'll look at was Twilio that we just took. Whoops, don't do it. Again, here's Twilio right here. Twilio was on the 21st, right back here. Okay, here's the 18th, 19th, 21st, right here. So this is where we took it. Now notice it went from yellow to blue. See the 20th, the 21st, right here. Institutions selling, institutions buying, breaking out of compression. Take it here on the daily chart and ride this thing up. And we took it off right here. We weren't in an awful long time on Twilio, but it produced some really nice profits for us. Notice it stays green the whole way. I could have probably ridden this a little bit longer if I wanted to, but I had some nice profit targets set and we took it. So that was Twilio. So that's kind of the SPY Super System here on Thinkorswim platform. This is where it gets loaded. You can purchase the software and it goes right on here. We also have a bunch of scanners here. This is if I switch over to 5-minute chart. This is a cascading up scan that I use during the day. This identifies stocks with relative strength to the market. If you look at the 5-minute candles, you can see the relative strength on NBIS. You can see it on Hood. You can see it on Tesla. Big moves when the market's just going sideways or down. So these are stocks that are bullish for that particular time frame. These are ones that are bearish for this particular time frame. All right, it's Coke, big drop in Coke, big drop in BP. So I use this during the day, and these scans can be switched to to daily if you want to look for stocks that have cascading up on the daily chart or cascading down on the daily chart, and you can look for those for swing type trades. All right, so that is oops, where is it? Right here. Yep. Go back to my setup here. All right, so that was the setup that we had. Again, that's I don't need to go through the rest of this stuff. And we had a really good month of November. I just kind of wanted to recap it for everybody and show you the results we had, which were really excellent. So again, I appreciate everybody watching the video. If you have any questions, there should be some links in the video to the SPY Super System trading system, which is a software, also to my room and my alert service. Again, the SPY Super System, we trade within the room. And if you're not in the room, you can't really get the SPY Super System trades unless you have the software, and you can find them yourself. All right, so that works pretty well. All right, everybody, thanks so much for watching. And that's our November results, and I think that they were excellent. And I appreciate everybody watching. Have a great trading week.